Hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault, and this is not the Legacy Live radio show. I just couldn't figure out how to get that logo off of there, and I finally gave up. But I woke up this morning to lots of Facebook messages, and every one of them said, "What's this crypto investment that you're in?" And I go, "I have no idea what you're talking about." So I looked around, and it turns out that another goofball stuck my picture and my name on a Facebook page and called it the Tom Chenault Investment Group. And they want to pork people into some crypto scam. And number one, that's just stupid. And number two, it's horrific because I know so many, especially senior citizens, that give people like those people money without doing any due diligence. And I'm begging you, before you ever do anything in the form of business with me, I don't care what it is, for a nickel, a dime, a dollar, or wampum, call me on the phone and we'll talk about it, because I just don't do that. I don't have the licenses for it. I don't have the desire for it. I don't want to take responsibility for your losses, and I don't want to take credit for your gains. It's that simple. I can barely make my own life work after many, many years of being a stockbroker, a supposed expert in mergers and acquisitions, a financial public relations firm. I've done okay in network marketing. That's probably the only investment I ever made that was worth its weight in gold. And the reason was because the investment I made was in the thing I love the most, which is Tom Chenault. And I spent a tremendous amount of time and a tremendous amount of money getting to where I am right this minute. And what I want to tell you, I said this in the comments, I have no idea if it's going to show up, that I've been in Bitcoin for a long time. It was less than $2,000 a coin when I got involved with it. Of course, I sold it before it ran. I can't wait for whatever happens to happen, because every time that does happen in the world of any investment, everybody pops up and says they bought at the bottom and then they sold at the top. Well, I probably sold at the bottom and bought at the top more than I did the opposite direction. And I've got a real good rule of thumb that carried me through my brokerage days, through my acquisition days, and through all my other days. And that is, when you double your money in any one of these things, sell half and then play on the house's money. And that's a good rule of thumb. And I've told so many of my friends that have come back years later and said, I just wish I would have taken that advice. I got wiped out because I just knew it was not going to stop running, and it always does. And these people out there that you're dealing with, there's a lot of criminals, and there's a lot of really smart people, and there's a lot of really fast computers, and there's a lot of really sophisticated programs to make sure that they get the money and you get the memories. So my absolute request to you is A, sell half on a double. B, don't invest money that you can't afford to lose. C, do your homework. Just because Joe Blow bought it doesn't mean A, you should. B, that he really did. C, that he didn't just guess or hear from some other dope that it should be bought, and it turned into the telephone game. So what happened this morning, the reason I'm so out of my mind, is because that went out. And 3 guys called me that are good friends of mine. Actually, 3 guys called me that are friends of mine, none good, but I know them. And they called me up and said, Tom, what is this deal? I go, don't touch it. And they go, why? I go, because you shouldn't. Number one, it's a scam, because it starts off as a scam when they use my face and my name. So that means don't buy it no matter what. So I don't care what is underneath the hood of that lie. They lied to you to get you to open up the hood. Don't buy it. And I said, why are you so crazy about this? Well, I got laid off. I go, what? I don't have a job. Well, that's terrible. What are you going to do? I don't know. Why? Because the tech space is absolutely decimated. There's no jobs. If you get one, the money that we used to make is 1/4 the money now. I am in trouble. And I'm like, oh my God, here it comes. So what is it you want to do? Well, I've got a nest egg. They gave me a severance pay. They gave me a 401k. They gave me this. They gave me that. And I go, okay. I want to invest that in a coin. I want to invest it in something that's going to run. I go back to number one. Is this money you can afford to lose? No. No. You can't afford. You're already in the trouble. Your cash flow is gone. You're going to be drawing on savings, and you're thinking that the Easter Bunny is going to solve the problem. No, no, no. Don't be desperate with your money. You'll get killed. So take a look at what it is you're going to buy. Do the due diligence on it. Maybe even hire somebody that's got licenses to advise you on whether to buy it or not. And then wait a couple of days after you're completely excited and still see if you want to take your nest egg and throw it at whatever this is. Because I don't think you do. I think you have to change what you're thinking. I think you have to figure out, I'll never forget in 1988. No, not Bitcoin. No, not Bitcoin. Not with money you can't afford to lose. Not Bitcoin if you don't know what you're doing. Not Bitcoin if you're having somebody else buy it for you. No. And if you do buy that Bitcoin, sell half on a double. You're aware, I don't know what Bitcoin is right now, probably $40,000, maybe 45. So for you to double your money in Bitcoin, it's got to go to $90,000 a coin. How many times has Bitcoin ever been to 90 grand? Never. How many times has Bitcoin ever been to 70 grand? Never. It's been at 1,500 before I bought it there and sold it, but never there. So what you're saying is, I'm so smart right now that I'm going to put my money up on Bitcoin at $45,000 a coin, and then I'm going to sell half out on a double at 90. Fine by me. Just realize how high it has to go. Never ever attained heights for you to double your money. It's your cause. If you got it and you can afford to lose it, do it. If you can't, don't. That's all I ask you. That's all I ask you. And I know. I know. I'm going to claim I don't know. There are a finite amount of Bitcoins out there. If every millionaire in the world would buy one Bitcoin, the party would be over. But I've been hearing that speech for years, and they haven't all bought one Bitcoin yet, and the party's not over. In fact, it's fluctuating. It isn't going straight up, it's fluctuating. And the rocket scientists are trying to figure out where the bottom is. And they're telling everybody they're loading the boat and until it goes down another 25%, and then they forgot that they bought it because they didn't really buy it. It was a con. I'm just telling all of you, it's your money. It's your livelihood. It's probably your nest egg. And you work so hard to save it, to throw it at a dream. No. You may have to reinvent yourself. In 1988, I had to reinvent myself, man. I was a mergers and acquisitions guy. I was making all kinds of money in that world. A lot of money. And all of a sudden, I didn't. I went from a huge income in 1988 to less than $30,000 in 1989. I lost everything. I got wiped out. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I learned these philosophies. I want you to think about it a lot. And I don't want you to, if you see that Tom Chenault investment page or anything that isn't me, and you can usually tell pretty quickly if it's me or not, I don't have more than one profile. So just know that none of that is me, and none of that should be listened to. And if you have any questions about it, you call me on the phone at 720-840-7222. Now, there's a few things I know about. I know about home-based business. I know about multiple streams of income. I know about nav site, and I know about contact mapping, and I know about relationships and how to keep them. I know about all that. If you want to talk about that, I'll talk to you all day long, because most of you are in the jackpot, especially if this is the LinkedIn crowd, because all your life you've been taught to stay in the cubicle, look at the screen, forget about the people around you. And all your life you've been taught to climb the corporate ladder by hoping somebody dies or stepping on their head to get up to the top. And nobody ever trained you to remember literally everything about everyone you've ever met, because you never know when you're going to need the help. And I'm telling you, I have a very, very vast amount of experience on that. And I want you to think about that today, because you probably don't have any options. That Easter Bunny isn't coming back in the tech space for a while either. Might not be coming back in the real estate business for a while either. Might not be coming back in the mortgage business. But I guarantee you one thing right now, the innovators are following the money and where the money's being made. And you might just have to reinvent yourself. But there's again, it's just exactly like what's going on with these scammers. You're going to hear the truth from people that can prove the truth, and you're going to hear lies from people that figure that if they can pick your pocket, that's how they want to win. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Just try with everything you've got to check your premises, check their references, follow people that have gotten to where you want to go. When I started on this adventure with contact mapping, I sought out Harvey McKay. I sought out Bob Bodine. I sought out all the people who had what I wanted, who'd done what I wanted to do. And I called them on the phone and said, mentor me, teach me. In network marketing, you can see that all I do is glom on to the big boys. That's why I have my radio show, because they would have never seen me otherwise. But once I put a microphone in my hand and put a pretty good sized show out there, I had a mousetrap that they couldn't resist. And as they came on my show for the free publicity, I got two things. I got to learn from them, and I got relationship with them. Here I was, this tiny statue on this big pedestal called AM radio, 500 stations. And that was my launching point, because all of a sudden I had Robert Kiyosaki, I had Mark Victor Hansen, I had Richard Brooke, I had Eric Worre, I had everybody on the stage with me, and my statue started growing a little bit, all in the world of relationships, because they weren't just on the show. They became my friends forever. And now here I am, 72 years old, and there's things I still need, but I've got a database so strong that is so alive and vibrant that yesterday I needed something big. And I called somebody that I worked with when she was 15 years old. That was 45 years ago. And I called and said, I know you did this for a living. I need something from you. Can we have a cup of coffee and chat about that? Because I need your advice. And the answer was, without a doubt, let's get together. And we went and laughed our asses off about what happened 45 years ago. And then we got down to business, and this person did me a giant favor with knowledge, because I hadn't blown the relationship or ignored the relationship or forgot the relationship. Richard Brooke, who's an icon, one of the top personal development and relationship teachers on the planet, often says, I can't comprehend how successful I would be, even though I'm monstrously successful now, if I had just contact mapped, documented, remembered, and put all the people I've ever met on a rotation to remember. So the relationship is always nurtured with a kind word in their name, never forgotten, because I know I'm going to run into them again one of these days in life. They're going to need something, or I'm going to need something, and they're not going to say, who's Richard Brooke? So I want you to be that person. I want you to be that person for your family, for your neighborhood, for your city, for your state, for your country, for your world. And all of you people that are having a hell of a time figuring out what you're going to do next, call me, 720-840-7222. Let me help you with connections. If you haven't read The Power of Who, you already know the people that can get you anywhere. If you haven't read Harvey McKay's books, I mean, Swim with the Sharks, any one of them, holy mackerel. That's what this is all about. And I want you to be that. Larry Benet, connector. Yeah, I think about, hello, Egypt. Hello, Duke. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Lucian. It is a crowd. And this wasn't announced, but I'm going to post it everywhere because I want no one buying anything from that guy purporting to be me. And I want none of you buying anything blindly because your next door neighbor did it or somebody else that told you how smart they were. Make them prove it. And if the only reason they're buying something is because somebody told them to buy it, that's not proof. That's just following the crowd, usually off a cliff. Ask Warren Buffett. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I love you all. Thanks for tuning in, even though you probably didn't want to. See you later.